Wow. That was a fun race. That was a lot of fun. Welcome in, everybody, to the 2024 Bet Rivers 200 post-race show. Thank you all for waiting for this race to end. I mean, this race went on and on and on, but it was well worth the wait. Sad that we didn't get that upset winner. I've never actually been kind of this, for an Xfinity race, this upset to have been correct on my win pick. I was rooting for the 88. I'll tell you that now. I was fully regressing back into old school Dale Jr. fandom when it came to that 88. I wanted Carson Kvapil to win that so damn bad. But he put up a hell of a fight today, got better as it went, and one way or another, I want him to have a ride next year. I really, really do. Because I think he fully would deserve having a ride after how good he's been. But yeah, his wins are coming. He will be getting those wins. Let's go through the finish of this race, or at least the finishing order of this race. Unofficial results at the moment, just because with the caution on the last lap, NASCAR's scoring and timing, it should be a certain way, but it should be set. But they change it every now and then. So Ryan Truex gets the win. Sheldon Creed comes home in the second position based on what NASCAR is saying. Then Kvapil in the third position. Sam Mayer fourth. Cole Custer recovers to fifth. Good recovery for him today. AJ Allmendinger with the sixth. Chandler Smith seventh. Weatherman eighth. Anthony Alfredo wins the dash for cash when it comes to his ninth place finish. I believe that means he gets the win in that. We wouldn't know. Fox went away to bowling too quick. In the top 10 finish for Retzlaff as well. Then Jeb in 11th, Kligerman 12th, Ellis 13th, 14th Clement, Austin Hill 15th after his spin trying to go for the win. Riley Herbst in 16th, 17th Justin Allgaier after that last lap crash, SVG 18th. 19th, Brandon Jones, and Dye in 20th. One lap down is the 21st and 22nd place finishers of Honeyman and Poole. Then Caden Honeycutt, 23rd, 2 laps down. Jesse Love, 2 down in 24th. Same goes for Josh Williams in 25th and David Starr in 26th. Also, 27th, Kyle Sieg. 3 laps down apiece for both 28th place finishing Emmerling and Cram in 29th. Garrett Smithley, 30th position. 31st, 8 laps down, Haley Deegan, Matt DiBenedetto 12 down, and everybody else out of this race. Sammy Smith in 33rd, Taylor Gray in 34th, Corey Heim in 35th, Perkins 36th, 37th for Sieg, and last 38th, J.J. Yaley. This race was 208 laps long, 2 hours, 22 minutes, 48 seconds, 11 lead changes among 10 leaders, and 10 caution flags on the day. 300 of y'all in here. Be sure to like the stream, and let's go right into it. And we're gonna delete that one. Just saying that now. There we go. Just because I want to be an asshole today. So let's talk about the finish here. I want to talk about the 88 before anything, and then go from there. I thought it was, again, a great run as the day went on. He was running in the teens to start with, then in the bottom end of the top 10. Then he would get to the top 5, and he just kept racing like a veteran out there. And I think that shows that long term, he is definitely going to be a pretty good driver long term. I think his inexperience showed a little bit at the end. While Ryan Truex races part-time a lot of the time, he still has a lot of experience up towards the front, and he was able to use that experience against the 88, even though I really think that I think the 88 was the better car at the end there. But it is what it is. Yeah, Spencer made the best team win. I'm not gonna be an ass about that. They made the best team win. Man, I want to go to Fenway one day. But let's talk about the full race itself here. Let's talk about the full race while we are here. Brandon Jones starts in the pole, fires off with the lead to start with, and we knew going into this race that rain was going to be an issue. Now, we thought maybe rain was going to I think, rain out the end of the race, finish it early. That's, I think, what we were thinking during this race. So you could tell that the wick was up early on. But immediately, we saw the caution come out. J.J. Haley would crash. Haley Deegan got involved. Not her fault. And from what it looked like Cram had gotten into the 35, which is interesting, to say the least. I'll just say that. Very interesting that happened. Light rain already starting up under this caution as well. And you knew it was going to be crazy from this point. Now, I want to look at the comments a little bit really quick. Kevin in the chat here saying Zilich is awesome for a young dude, as is Love. I mean, this crop of young drivers is going to be really interesting for me because I think there's going to be a bottleneck at some point. Like, I think we're going to see a true bottleneck of talent in these series because there's so many good drivers and not enough cup rides for them to be basically ascended into. Not enough good ones, at least. So, we're going to go from that kind of mentality with that. I mean, Love is really good, and I know that RCR really wants to push Hill, but I'd go with Love at this point. If I could, I would have Love. I don't know how Creed is second. I think he must have got him maybe right at the end as the caution came out or something. Now they're saying Sam Mayer is second. So NASCAR has just changed the results again. We'll take these off. They just updated Sam Mayer with a second place finish. Quapple stays in. Well, now they're putting Quapple in second. So I don't know what NASCAR is doing at this point. All right, so the 88 did come home second now. And now Mayer is third. And from there, Creed is fourth. I don't know what NASCAR is doing, but we're just going to roll with it. That's what they're going with. They have them each 1/1000th of a second separated. That's probably just the way that they're scoring it for now. So we'll update the results. But again, this is why we have it as unofficial. It's just going to change as the stream goes on. So there you go. There's your updated finishing order on the day. We'll read super chats after we get through the race review, which I should probably get into a little bit. Stage 1, again, for the most part, was pretty, just normal. It was a chalk kind of stage here. You had the restart with the 9 and the 7. Allgaier leads, had a really good car, I'll say this. But the big thing about this was the explosive fire coming from Ryan Sieg's car. Both ends, both out of the front of the car, both wheels on fire, engine, everything. I don't know if they said what exactly happened there, but it was probably the biggest fire I've seen in the Xfinity Series for a car like that in a little bit. Unfortunate 37th place finish for him because of it. I see Spencer in the chat, and I feel for you, but at least you got your dash for cash last week, so that's good. And of course, we restart again. Allgaier gets ahead, wins stage 1 over Jones, Custer, Creed, Herbst, Hill, Chandler Smith, Allmendinger, Truex, and Mayer. Under yellow going into stage 2, Blaine Perkins in the 29, same team. His car goes up in smoke in the same area. FS1 never followed up on that. Now, I do know that someone like Brock Beard will have probably went into that and looked into what caused it. So we'll find out from probably the most likely is this week for sure. Brock, somebody I know that would, if something comes out about it, would actually be the one to look. And you can see that this week when he's on the NWP on Danny B Talks channel this week, which I'll be on. Just want to let you guys know that right now while we are talking about it. Yeah, that's a shameless plug. We get back under green, restarting with the 31, the 2 up front. We had a couple that pitted right before the end of stage 1. That's why we have a bit of a shuffling. Love would get the lead for a bit, and he would lead for 21 laps before Cole Custer with fresh tires got it. The only really big thing that happened after that is Corey Heim was still on track, which I don't know if that was ever really pushed in any way. But the second stage would end, pretty much event free. Now I want to ask you guys a question before we read the stage 2 results. Was this the Xfinity race of the year? Because I saw a lot of people, myself included, who were kind of posing that question, like this could be the race of the year, just because all that happened. By the way, like up the stream. We're almost at 100, and we are closing in on 76K subs. So if you're new, be sure to subscribe. But did you think this was the Xfinity race of the year? Poll starting up right now. Of course, it's so far. That is, I should say that is implied with it. But I would say yes. This has probably been the best for me Xfinity race so far this year, just action-wise. Racing-wise, Dover, I think, is very overlooked, especially when it comes to Xfinity. So, all in all, I really enjoyed this day. Custer would win stage 2 over Hill, Love, Retzlaff, and Creed. Then Allgaier, Herbst, Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, and Ryan Truex to end it out. At this point, though, the team said it, the broadcast said it, we were racing the rain. We were definitely racing the rain at this point. We restart with 100 to go, Custer getting the lead, and immediately we have action. Jesse Love and Ryan Truex were racing really hard, a lot of really hard racing on this restart, starting the final stage. Guys knowing that these positions they get now could be the difference between a top 5 and a top 10 and outside the top 10, maybe going for the win. Ryan Truex enters into turn 1, scrapes the apron. You see the sparks fly off of the splitter. It jets him back up the track into Jesse Love, and it's just enough. Probably hit the tailpipes, cut the tire on the 2, and out the door he went. 2 laps down, day pretty much over. And again, there was the back and forth between the 00 and the 7. Allgaier caught back up to Custer. They were racing through lap traffic. You could tell they were racing like it was for the win. Any lap now could finish the race. And with 41 to go, we get a caution for rain. Most pit, top 4, including guys like Custer, like Allgaier, among others, stay out of pit road, trying just to hope that the race ends. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at the radar throughout this race, and it looked like it was done. I mean, the National Weather Service radar had that storm cell lasting all the way through basically 7 o'clock tonight local time, which more than likely means race is over. So I know it seems dumb in hindsight what they did, but it was worth it completely. But then we had a pocket just open up in the middle of the cell, a big enough pocket to finish it. I bet you it's probably raining, if not close to raining right now over in Dover, Delaware. And they go down pit road, and, at this point, with 33 to go, after the 8 car ran out of gas. So again, pushing it right on the line, and they're under red for about 20 minutes. And you're thinking this thing is probably over. I had put the post-race results at that moment, at least the running order at that time. I had put it in the OBS system and was ready to go and start streaming any minute now. I was in a holding pattern, basically. But they ended up actually starting to get them back fired. They went back under yellow. Custer and Chandler Smith pitted immediately. Then I will say this. When they pit, Allgaier hit the cone, at least the square area where the cone would be for pit road. I don't know how that wasn't counted as a penalty. Ultimately didn't matter in who won this race. But he was playing 4D chess out there. Allgaier, once he went back to the lead, was trying to go up the track to be in the high lane. He said he wanted to pick there since he was the leader. Pulls in front of all of the guys up there. I think Austin Hill was the one at that time up there. And actually got it delayed for a lap, which I think, again, smart move on his part. Do what you can to extend it. Hopefully at that point, under caution, 1, you can save probably more gas. But 2, you probably end up getting some rain to come in the area if you get lucky. Smart move on his part, but he easily could have been black flagged for doing that. It was pretty clear what he was doing. I don't dislike Allgaier. I think it was a smart move. It was just pretty damn clear to me that he was just holding off as long as he could to keep that lead and hope something happened. But with 28 to go, we get back rolling. It is Allgaier. It is Hill. Allgaier cleared Hill after getting into him. That's, I think, something, I don't know if the Fox cameras didn't catch it or whatever, but people seem to miss, is that the 7 kind of not door slammed like to the level of knocking him way out, but he did hit the 21. And at that point, in the next corner, the 21 sends him. And at that same moment, as Hill takes the lead, Brandon Jones goes around, and it's over for the 7. He's back to 4th. He's low on fuel. He has to end up pitting. It starts raining again during this caution, so you're wondering, oh my God, was all of this just for an Austin Hill win? But it was not. The rain cleared up. It was just kind of a misting effect for the most part. Cameras made it look worse than it was. And we get Austin Hill versus Carson Kloppel on the front row. Hill gets ahead. Creed follows him. And then right off the bat, Taylor Gray, hard in the wall, Sam Mayer sends him in there. So again, it is now Hill and Creed. Hill spins the tires, but they're side by side, back and forth, out of turns 1 and 2, down the backstretch, into 3 and 4. Creed clears the 21. And then Hill moves him, gets beside him, and 3 wide pass for the lead. And it's Carson Kloppel coming up there. The 20-year-old driver, the phenom driver of the 88, in his second start, takes the lead at Dover, and from there, Riley Herbst goes around only maybe 2 laps later, collects the 8, the 28, the 44, they all pile in, and we're going to overtime. It's the 88 versus the 21. They're even going into the corner. Hill ends up spinning out, and Kloppel still has the lead. Second overtime rolls around. He's starting beside Truex, and Truex clears. And coming to the white flag, has it, and once the caution comes out, it's over from there. I so wanted the 88 to win this race. I really, really did. But just Truex, I think, had a better restart. I wouldn't say better car at that point, but I could see some people saying maybe he did. I mean, he definitely was racing a lot better in the second half of this race than the first half. There were points of this race he was outside the top 15 off speed, and it was like, wow, I pick you this year, and you completely just crapped the bed. But it is what it is. I'm telling you, Carson Kloppel is going to have a lot of shots at wins in the coming years. I mean, he is only 20 years old. He has the full support, it seems like, of Dale Earnhardt Jr., which in NASCAR is an invaluable asset. There's nothing to me that it would be bigger as a young driver than having him push me up through the ranks. I hope he gets more rides next year, like more races. I don't know if he'd be full-time next year unless one of the JRM guys either leaves or maybe goes up to Cup, but I don't see that happening right now. They could open a 5th team? Chat, you'll probably have to check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that does Xfinity have the 4-team cap too? I know Cup does. I think it's absolutely dumb at this point. It's pretty difficult to probably even get to 5 cars in Cup anymore. We're going to end the poll, by the way, 67%. 2/3 of you say it was the Xfinity race of the year so far, to 1/3 of you saying no. Okay, they don't. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. By the way, how's it going, Alan? Good to see you in the chat. I agree with you. Carson needs a full-time ride. The extra starts at the very least this season or full-time next year. He deserves way more starts this year. If Junior has the availability open for that 88 car to run more, whether it's bringing Hendrick crew guys down to volunteer or whatnot, get him some rides, because I think long-term that is going to be a really, really good investment. But, today he was not the winner, and you could see the disappointment and all, but I think today was also a really good lesson for him on what to do, what not to do. Don't be Austin Hill. Don't be Austin Hill unless you're at a super speedway. But let's look at some of these super chats. Let's look at some of these super chats right here. First off, from Fred Dog, thank you for the 2. Thanks for showing the race ending crash. I roll. Yeah, well, that's a certified Fox Sports 1 moment. I need to get that meme just to put it up during every stream. I really do. Twin spinner for the 5. As soon as Hill spun, we were basically guaranteed the good ending, no matter which of the top 10 won. I love the hatred that, you know what? I'm gonna pull something about the vortex theory in a bit, but I want to know, who do you hate more? Because I'm seeing the comparisons, and I really, really want to see what you guys think on this. So who do you hate more? Austin Hill or Denny Hamlin? I think this is gonna be fun. I'm assuming Hamlin's gonna win just because he's in Cup, but I'd say Hill is more hateable. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the heel. So, like, I'm all for both of them succeeding just for people to be pissed off and for the reaction. I think it's a lot of fun, but damn. See, I thought at least being a Cup driver, Denny would get that edge over Hill, but good God, you guys. And maybe it's, again, probably prisoner of the moment a little bit too, but that kind of majority over Denny Hamlin. Man, I hope Hill actually is able to really do well off in Cup at some point, or at least compete for a win or two a year and just be an ass to somebody. I love that. That's actually really. We should pull that Wednesday night on Danny's channel when we get Brock Beard on. Gary Buki for the 2. How about fast pasta with that 100K? Really cool. It is really cool. I wish Fox would have covered it a little more than just like, by the way, if you look at the scoring pylon, look at who is in front. It's like, come on, like, talk to the guy. He's a great personality, a younger driver, really needs that focus. Should have shown him, especially since I believe this is the last Dash for Cash race. Napa Racing fan for the 2. Put Dover back in June where it belongs. I would say, yeah. I'm even okay with it being at the end of the summer, kind of like what it was in 2020. I think they're not going to put it in June just because if you've been paying attention to the weather, and I'm not a weather geek like my dad, but it's rubbed off a little bit on me. There's been a lot of tornadoes running through around this time of year out in the St. Louis area, which again, might disagree with baseball with St. Louis, but I do, every time I go out there, I do like being out there, and I wish all of you guys that are out there the best. It's been a hectic spring, and I think that, you know, they can't move Gateway and Dover as a flip. Kansas really can't get moved too much earlier. It gets really hot out there, but again, they're in the middle of Tornado Alley. So I think for now, you got to kind of keep it at the end of April, start of May. Plus, I really think that NASCAR wants that Darlington, Wilkesboro, Coke 600 kind of 3-week Carolina swing, just so that these guys with only one bye week a year, especially in Cup, can get that time off. But if they moved it into the summer later, I'd be fine with it. I mean, the Northeast doesn't get as hot as the South or even the Midwest this time of year. I mean, trust me, I'm living in Illinois my whole life before a couple years ago. 90s and 100s were not out of the question in the middle of the summer, and you know that's basically almost in Wisconsin at that point. I mean, when I was out at Road America a couple years ago for both of those races, it was in the 90s both weekends. So I'd be fine with them if it's feasible for the teams, weather-wise, all that. I'd be fine with almost doing it kind of like, you know, do New Hampshire and then do Dover the next week, you know, kind of just move your way down the East Coast or something. I'd be open to moving it just because it is hectic with the weather. Yeah, I was from Illinois. I got out of there as quick as I could. I'm not a fan of the state. I'm not a fan of the state. Yeah, I agree with that too. North Wilkesboro needs a point race as well. Bobby Blair for the 5. The Xfinity Series is in a good spot right now. A good mix of youth and experience throughout the field, plus these cars race so good. Congrats, Truex. That's what I like about the Xfinity Series. I know a lot of people have kind of swung back to, well, maybe we need a few more Leech races. I'm not really in that window. You know, a lot of people be like, well, there's not really that identity. Like, who's really around there all the time? Allgaier? Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about college football. I know you don't want to compare football to NASCAR too much, but you could say the same thing. And even in the Cup Series, you know, I made a video about the 2016 Dover race earlier this week, and I noted that only 3 drivers have the same number in this week's Cup race 8 years later than that Dover race. There's a lot of movement in NASCAR in general and sports in general. I don't think that's really a good excuse. The racing is really good. The inexperience, in my opinion, actually makes the racing better, because they make dumb moves and it sets you up for crazier moments with a better car than the next gen overall. I mean, when you look at old school NASCAR races, like 90s, 2000s races, like there were a lot more mistakes made then than there are now. And people generally look at those races as being better races. Whether it was more difficult cars that were the problem or the drivers, doesn't matter. Mistakes do open up good races, at least in my opinion with that. So I am all for where the Xfinity Series is now. The Xfinity Series, for me, I feel like is where people saw the Truck Series in the mid to late 2010s. It's just a fun series, and the identity is having that constant churning up of new drivers. Andrew, thank you for the 2. Ryan Truex deserves a full-time ride. I hope he does. It's all sponsorship at that point. I don't know how he hasn't got that shot. I mean, I remember him back in like 2011, 2012 making starts and almost winning and being like, how does he not have a spot in the Cup Series or even full-time Xfinity Series? It does baffle me at this point. Meanwhile, other drivers who do not deserve a JGR ride get more starts in JGR cars because they bring money. Fred Dog, another one here. Hill makes Hamlin look like our favorite driver. I can see that. We're going to end the poll here. 72% of you hate Austin Hill more. We're going to end on a fun one here. You know where I sit with this one. Do you believe in vortex theory? I always love this one because I never can know what people think, whether they're just doing it for the meme or actually believe it, but I think it's a lot of fun. So do you believe in vortex theory? Napa Racing fan, Austin Hill, aggressive goes around. I love every time Austin Hill is running towards the front. It makes races so much more fun for me. And then a random guy named Hunter. Thank you for your 10th super chat in the channel, and it's a 10. Was listening to Justin Scanner during the rain restart. They were telling NASCAR they never open pit road before going to green or do a choose cone. Well, if that's the case, then it's probably Fox didn't cover it well. I would say that. That very well could be the case. There was a lot of. It did seem like there was a lot of miscommunication from broadcast to us as well as competition, so that could be part of it as well. Hamlin Fanatic in the chat. Off topic, Jarrett, but how do you feel about JJ McCarthy? I'm fine. Sit him for a year. You know, get him experience. You got a great coach, great system. I love it. I am happy watching Kwesi Cook. I'll just say that. 2024 is always expected to be a rebuild year, and I am all for it. It's more retooling. I'm happy with it. If you ask Danny B, I was over at his house on Thursday night. I almost lost my voice being like, with all the stuff going on, screaming, especially when we got Dallas Turner. That one. If you go online and find the KOC reaction to that, I had this exact same reaction. I'm like, oh, really? He's still out there. We're gonna end the poll here. This is like the NASCAR flat earther argument, except that like more people believe it. 52% or 53% do believe in vortex theory to 47% saying no. But I had fun. That was probably the most fun I've had in an Xfinity race all year long, and I cannot wait because I believe the next one is Darlington, and that one always puts on a banger. Darlington and Xfinity is a match made in heaven. I can't remember the last time there was a Darlington race for Xfinity that I didn't leave just absolutely, 10 out of 10 meter being at an 11.4. It's always fun, and especially like having been at Darlington now, it makes it even more fun. Yeah, Kansas is next week, but Xfinity isn't racing Kansas. So the next Xfinity race is Darlington, right? I'm right? I have a million freaking schedules. I might as well check. Yeah, it's Darlington. So I can't wait. I will see you guys tomorrow after the Cup race. Going to be a lot of fun. Looks like a sunny day, so we should not have these rain issues tomorrow. But y'all have a good one. I'm going to go run like 20 miles or something because today is my long run day and I've been pushing it off for as long as I could. So y'all have fun, and until tomorrow, have a good one and see ya.